In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NFL games happening on November 9, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Arizona Cardinals versus Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks and Arizona Cardinals face off Sunday in an NFC West matchup featuring two teams heading in opposite directions. Seattle enters on a strong run, having won 6 of its last 7 games, while Arizona has dropped 5 of its previous 6. The Seahawks hold the clear edge thanks to a high-powered passing offense that ranks among the league's best. The Cardinals have been competitive on defense at times, but their struggles against the pass have been costly, allowing more than 230 yards per game through the air. They face a significant challenge containing Seattle's aerial attack. Arizona's offense is unlikely to match Seattle's score for score. The Cardinals have leaned heavily on the passing game, with little consistency on the ground. That imbalance makes their offense predictable and easier to defend. With Seattle's defense not needing to overcommit to stopping the run, the Seahawks can focus on keeping pressure on Jacoby Brissett and forcing mistakes. Seattle comes into this contest after a convincing road win against a competitive Washington team. The Seahawks rolled up 418 total yards, including 330 through the air, with 21 first downs and an impressive 8.7 yards per play. Defensively, they allowed just 290 total yards and 4.7 yards per play while collecting 2 takeaways. Washington's 8 penalties helped the cause, but Seattle's execution was sharp on both sides of the ball. The defense has now held 3 consecutive opponents under 20 points, all resulting in victories. The Cardinals, meanwhile, earned a solid showing last weekend against Dallas. Their defense allowed 333 yards and 22 first downs, but came away with 3 takeaways that turned the game in their favor. On offense, Arizona moved efficiently with 340 yards, 23 first downs, and no turnovers. The Cardinals have reached 20 or more points in 5 straight games, though that success has translated into just 1 win in that span. Seattle's momentum makes it one of the hottest teams in the league. The Seahawks are 6-2 against the spread in 2025 and already covered in their earlier meeting with Arizona, a 23-20 road win. Brissett has flashed moments of confidence since taking over for Kyler Murray, but with only 8 starts in the last 3 seasons, his lack of recent experience is an issue. Facing a Seattle defense playing with confidence, Arizona's offense will likely find the going tough. Seattle also owns one of the league's most efficient red zone units, converting at a 70.4% rate, while Arizona's sights at just 58%. The trajectory for these 2 clubs could not be more different. The Seahawks have climbed to 6-1 in their last 7 outings, while Arizona has fallen to 1-5 over the same stretch. Seattle ranks 5th in both total offense and total defense, combining precision on offense with balance and discipline on defense. The Cardinals, in contrast, have been unable to keep pace with stronger opponents and continue to struggle in coverage and consistency. As our first pick for this matchup, the Seattle Seahawks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Arizona averages 22.5 points per game, throwing the ball on nearly 59% of its plays with the league's 20th ranked passing offense. The Cardinals will face a Seattle defense ranked 19th against the pass and allowing just 18.8 points per game. On the other side, the Seahawks average 28.9 points per game and throw on half their plays. They bring the league's 4th-ranked passing attack into a matchup with an Arizona defense that ranks 23rd against the pass, allowing 21.4 points per game. Recent history favors lower scores when these two meet. The under has hit in 4 of their last 5 matchups, and the current setup points toward a similar outcome. Seattle's defense has been excellent, limiting opponents to fewer than 19 points per game, 5th best in the league. Opposing quarterbacks are averaging only 6.5 yards per attempt against this group, and the Seahawks' run defense has been elite, giving up just 3.5 yards per carry. Seattle's offense, while potent, has been prone to mistakes. The team averages 1.6 turnovers per game, one of the highest marks in the NFL, and ranks near the bottom in rushing efficiency with 3.7 yards per attempt. Those inconsistencies create additional chances for longer drives rather than explosive plays. If Arizona's defense can build on last week's performance against Dallas, this matchup could tighten considerably. Both teams have defensive strengths that align well against their opponent's weaknesses. Seattle's pressure should contain Brissett, while Arizona's secondary can limit deep completions if it stays disciplined. The result is likely to be a game defined by field position, steady defense, and limited big plays. Scoring opportunities will be scarce, and sustained drives will determine the pace. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Lions versus Washington Commanders. The Detroit Lions enter Week 10 in a crowded NFC North race as they prepare to visit the Washington Commanders on Sunday afternoon. After dropping 2 of their last 3 contests, Detroit suddenly finds itself in a tight division where all 4 teams are separated by a single game. At 5-3, the Lions understand the urgency of this matchup. Head coach Dan Campbell's team is not in crisis, but the margin for error has narrowed. Their recent setback against Minnesota was disappointing, yet it stands as the only loss that could be labeled a bad one. The other 2 came against strong opponents in Green Bay and Kansas City. A trip to Washington may be exactly what Detroit needs to reset. The Commanders' situation at quarterback took another turn last week when Jaden Daniels dislocated his elbow late in a lopsided 38-7 loss to Seattle. Daniels will not play, which pushes veteran Marcus Mariota back into the starting role. While Mariota brings experience, his play has settled into that of a steady game manager rather than a difference maker. Facing a Lions team that holds advantages at nearly every position, Washington's quarterback would need an exceptional outing to even the field, and Mariota has not shown that ceiling. Detroit, meanwhile, boasts a decisive edge at quarterback with Jared Goff, who continues to lead one of the most balanced offenses in the conference. The Lions' offensive potential remains high, and after 2 recent losses, they will be eager to reassert their rhythm. Washington presents an inviting opportunity as the Commanders rank 28th in total defense and 23rd in scoring defense. That unit has struggled to stop anyone lately. In their most recent game, the Commanders allowed Sam Darnold to complete all 16 of his first half passes for 282 yards and 4 touchdowns. Washington's injury report only deepens its problems. In addition to missing Daniels, the team could also be without star wide receiver Terry McLaurin and several key defensive starters. The loss of cornerback Marcus Lattimore for the season makes covering wideout Amon-Ra St. Brown even more difficult. Their depth has been further tested by the injury to kick returner Luke McCaffrey, forcing multi-purpose player Deebo Samuel into additional special teams work. These issues collectively weaken Washington's ability to keep pace with a Lions team eager to respond. Detroit has been consistent against the spread, going 5-2 in its last 7 games overall and 6-2 in its previous 8 meetings with Washington. The Commanders, by contrast, are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 outings and 0-5 against conference opponents. The numbers support the narrative. Mariota remains capable, but facing this Detroit offense after a tough loss creates a steep challenge. The Lions have been reliable both in preparation and performance, while Washington continues to show cracks in every phase. Seattle's recent blowout of Washington exposed just how fragile this Commanders team has become. Detroit's physical offense and versatile passing attack should test a defense that has been unable to find traction for weeks. The Lions also enter with motivation, remembering their home playoff loss to Washington and seeking to erase that frustration. The matchup favors Detroit in nearly every category, from quarterback play to defensive stability and overall health. As our first pick for this matchup, the Detroit Lions to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Turning to the total, Detroit's offense has cooled slightly from its early season pace. After posting 52, 38, 34, and 37 points in a dominant 4-game stretch, the Lions have produced 17, 24, and 24 points in their last 3. Goff's accuracy has dipped as well, completing under 70% of his passes in consecutive games for the first time this year. The running game has also slowed, with the team's leading rusher failing to surpass 65 yards in 3 of the last 4 contests after previously topping 90 yards in 3 straight. Washington's offense, by comparison, has generated even less confidence. In Mariota's last start, the Commanders managed only 7 points against Kansas City. Their running game has suffered since losing Austin Eckler to a torn Achilles early in the season. Jackery Krosky-Merritt briefly provided a spark but has since cooled off, rushing for just 33, 25, and 38 yards over the past 3 games. He remains questionable with a tooth issue, while McLaurin is uncertain to play due to a quadriceps injury. Given the state of Washington's offense, defense, this could be a game in which Detroit's defense takes center stage. Defensive end Aiden Hutchinson has been a force with 5 sacks in his past 5 games, consistently creating pressure and setting the tone up front. The Lions' defense has the personnel to contain a limited Washington offense, particularly one without its starting quarterback and several key contributors. Washington's defensive unit, already stretched thin, may not be able to compensate. Head coach Dan Quinn may choose to lean on conservative play calling, relying on clock management and field position rather than high-risk passing. That approach would slow the game's tempo and limit scoring chances for both teams. With Detroit's defense finding rhythm and Washington's offense short on healthy playmakers, the stage is set for a controlled, methodical game where big plays come at a premium. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Rams vs. San Francisco 49ers. The Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers renew their National Football Conference West rivalry on Sunday at Levi's Stadium, meeting for the second time this season after a dramatic first encounter in Los Angeles back in Week 5. That earlier game turned into one of the wildest of the year. San Francisco built an early 14-0 lead, only to see the Rams storm back and force overtime tied at 23-23. In the extra period, the 49ers struck first with a field goal, then stopped Los Angeles on 4th and 1 to seal a 26-23 victory as 8.5-point underdogs. Quarterback Mac Jones was the difference for San Francisco that day, torching the Rams' secondary for 342 yards and 2 touchdowns while snapping a 3-game losing streak to Los Angeles dating back to 2023. As the National Football Conference West enters its stretch run, the division race could not be tighter. Seattle and Los Angeles are both sitting at 6-2, with San Francisco close behind at 6-3. The Rams have won 3 straight since that overtime loss, including a dominant 34-10 victory over New Orleans last Sunday as 14.5-point favorites. That run has re-established them as one of the most complete teams in the conference. It is worth noting that their 2 defeats earlier in the season were narrow and self-inflicted, including a 33-26 collapse in Philadelphia after leading 26-7. San Francisco, meanwhile, has been alternating wins and losses for the past 7 games, showing flashes of brilliance followed by lapses in consistency. The 49ers rolled over the Giants last week as 2.5-point road favorites, yet they remain just 1-4 against the spread following a win this season. In their last 3 games after a victory, they have surrendered at least 26 points each time, revealing a defense that has struggled to maintain momentum. The pass defense, in particular, has been suspect. San Francisco has only 1 interception all season, while Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford has thrown just 2 picks total. The Rams have been excellent on the road, winning and covering in all 3 away games so far. They have also claimed victories in their last 2 visits to Santa Clara. This matchup brings layers of intrigue. Los Angeles enters with revenge on its mind after the Week 5 overtime defeat and with the confidence of a team playing its best football of the season. The 49ers remain dangerous, but have been hampered by injuries and a lack of defensive takeaways. In contrast, the Rams are trending upward and have held a historical edge against the spread in recent head-to-head meetings. It is also a favorable situational spot for Los Angeles, which underperformed early in the first meeting but has since found rhythm on both sides of the ball. With their balanced attack and road form, the Rams find themselves short favorites for a reason. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Rams to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The total offers another compelling angle. When these teams met earlier this season, the matchup appeared headed for an under before a late field goal by Joshua Carty tied the game and pushed it to overtime. San Francisco eventually prevailed 26-23, cashing the over on a closing line of 44. For this rematch, the total has climbed to 49.5 points. The Rams are 4-3-1 to the under this year, while San Francisco sits at 5-3-1 to the over. The 49ers are 2-1 to the under at home, with their lone overcoming by a single point in a Week 4 loss to Jacksonville. Recent meetings between these clubs have typically leaned low scoring. In the second matchups of their past 3 seasons, the combined totals have landed at 18, 41, and 45 points. Los Angeles has allowed 19 or fewer points in 3 of 4 road games this season. The Rams' defense held Philadelphia to 7 first-half points before giving up 26 in the second half. But since the loss to San Francisco, they have yielded just 20 total points across 3 straight wins. For San Francisco, quarterback Mac Jones has cooled off after a hot start. He averaged 313 passing yards in his first 4 outings after replacing Brock Purdy, but has averaged only 193.3 yards per game over the past 3. Running back Christian McCaffrey remains the focal point of the offense, topping 100 rushing yards in 2 of his last 3 games, though he has been held under 52 yards in both of his home appearances this season. In the earlier meeting, the Rams limited the 49ers to 4 field goals over the final 50 minutes of play, showcasing defensive discipline that should again help contain San Francisco's attack. The offensive numbers further support a lower total. The 49ers rank just 23rd in points per game, and the Rams sit second in scoring defense. Red zone efficiency also favors Los Angeles, which owns the league's second-best red zone defense, a factor that could force San Francisco to settle for field goals rather than touchdowns. With both teams familiar with each other and defenses improving since the first matchup, the game script leans toward a controlled pace rather than another shootout. The Rams' ability to rush the passer and contain explosive plays could dictate the flow, keeping the scoring modest and the game physical. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers extended their winning streak to 2 games and improved to 6-3 on the season, but their latest victory did not come easily. The Tennessee Titans, playing with nothing to lose, delivered one of their more complete performances of the year, managing to avoid turnovers for the first time all season. Still, their effort fell short against a disciplined Chargers defense coordinated by Jim Harbaugh. Los Angeles held Tennessee to just 20 first downs and 206 total yards, keeping control for most of the afternoon. Quarterback Justin Herbert led the way with another standout showing, throwing for 250 yards and rushing for 57 more while accounting for 3 total touchdowns. The run game, however, struggled to generate momentum as second-year back Kimani Vidal and Jarrett Patterson combined for only 74 yards on 21 carries. Despite the win, the Chargers' optimism was tempered by significant injury news. Star left tackle Joe Alt suffered a season-ending ankle injury, a major blow to one of the league's most efficient offensive lines. Alt had been rated among the best players at his position and was instrumental in giving Herbert consistent protection. His absence was deeply felt earlier in the year, when the offense labored through a stretch of losses to the Giants, Commanders, Dolphins, and Colts. In each of those games, the Chargers' offense appeared disjointed without their 6'8" cornerstone. His return had recently stabilized the unit, but his latest setback forces another adjustment. To make matters worse, right tackle Bobby Hart left last week's game with ankle and groin injuries, compounding the team's issues up front. Los Angeles did acquire veteran Trevor Penning from New Orleans in a midweek trade to fill the void, though his ability to replicate Alt's performance remains uncertain. The Pittsburgh Steelers, on the other hand, enter with a healthier roster and one of their most dominant defensive efforts of the season fresh in mind. In Week 9, they overwhelmed the Colts, posting numbers that underscored their defensive pedigree. Pittsburgh's defense tallied 13 passes defended, 5 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, 6 tackles for loss, and 6 forced turnovers. It was a complete showing, reminiscent of the aggressive, opportunistic style the team has built its reputation on. The offense, led by Aaron Rodgers, remains limited in depth but continues to outperform expectations, averaging 25.3 points per game, good for 12th in the league. Against Indianapolis, the Steelers did enough on offense to complement their dominant defense and secure a much-needed win. Offensively, Pittsburgh is still a work in progress. The running game has been stagnant, ranking 28th in yards per carry at 3.8, and the passing attack averages 7.0 yards per attempt, placing 19th. Even so, head coach Mike Tomlin's squad thrives when playing as underdogs. His record in that role, 67-40-4 against the spread, a 62% success rate, illustrates how often his teams rise to the occasion when underestimated. This matchup presents another such scenario, with the Chargers dealing with critical injuries and facing a defense built to capitalize on offensive line instability. As our first pick for this matchup, the Pittsburgh Steelers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Pittsburgh has posted 25 or more points in 3 of its last 4 outings, while Los Angeles has struggled to contain opposing offenses in recent weeks. The Chargers have allowed 27 or more points to the Commanders, Dolphins, and Colts, reflecting inconsistencies in their defensive execution. Statistically, Los Angeles remains an explosive team. The Chargers rank 5th in total offense and 6th in passing yards, driven by Herbert's efficiency and playmaking. They also operate at one of the fastest paces in the league, averaging 66 56 plays per game, second overall. Conversely, Pittsburgh's defense has not stood out in any one area and has given up 30 or more points in 2 of its past 3 road contests. The over has cashed in 4 of the Chargers' last 5 games, another indicator of their offensive tempo and defensive volatility. Both teams have been in strong form, with the Chargers winning 3 of their last 4 and the Steelers taking 4 of their last 6. Combined, their games have averaged 49.2 points, well above this week's total of 45. Across their last 7 outings combined, both sides are 6-1 to the over, while their defenses have allowed 45.8 points per game together during that span. Los Angeles comes into this matchup having done enough to secure wins, but without the same dominance they displayed earlier in the season. Their victory over Tennessee, though controlled, exposed offensive inefficiencies tied to their injury-depleted line. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, broke a 2-game losing streak with a road win over the Colts, though they were outgained significantly in total yardage. The Steelers' defense remains opportunistic but far from perfect, and their offense has quietly become more reliable as Rodgers settles in. The Chargers' games have consistently leaned toward higher scores, having gone over 45 points in 4 straight. With both teams capable of producing explosive plays and both defenses showing lapses, the setup favors another game with steady scoring. The conditions, personnel matchups, and recent form all point toward a fast pace and plenty of points on both sides. I expect a barrage of scoring. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.